Hello friends, this is Cold Run. Welcome to a playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV's new expansion, Dawntrail, where I'm going to be playing as a Pictomancer. I got my Pictomancer up to 90, and I'm about to start the MSQ. Now, for anyone who hasn't been here before, welcome. I played through these as unspoiled as I can, so I haven't seen anything beyond the intro trailer that had like the taco eating. Like, I've seen that one, but I haven't seen the launch trailer. I don't know what zones are going to be in the expansion. I don't really know much about this beyond, like, what... I probably have picked up some things. Like, I know the name of the raid is Arcadia, something like that. But I don't know anything about it. So I'm excited. This is going to be all fresh, and I can't wait to do it. Ojika Tsunjika, a new world to explore. I'm going to be doing, like, the main quest and the side quests and kind of all the stuff I can along the way. I've never really done the extreme or high-end stuff, but maybe I'll try that eventually if the mood strikes. But yeah, we'll go. Here we go. A new world to explore. Ojika Tsunjika has a message for you. Welcome back, Akushu. I've just had word from Erenville. It seems he's managed to secure passage to Tural aboard a guild ship vessel. A friend of mine just mentioned that his chat, the chat in his zone was saying, having an extensive debate about whether Erenville was a bottom or not. What do you think? Leave your comments below. It seems he's managed to secure passage to Tural aboard a guild ship vessel. Why don't you wait in the main hall while I go inform your travel companions? Yes. What is that? I think that's it's some kind of horn or trumpet. I don't know what instrument exactly that is, but it has a very this way to adventure feel to it. Here we go again. I friggin' love this game. I'm so happy. I'm happy to be here. Alphino. Ojika gave us the good news. We've made ready to set sail at a moment's notice. Trial. The only one yet to arrive is Erenville himself. And my beloved Wuk Lamat. Erenville's pretty great too. Ah, you're all here. It took some persuasion, but the Gleaners Guild ship has granted us places aboard a vessel bound for Tural. There'll be other passengers, researchers and artisans and the like, so we'll need to share deck space. That's fine, Erenville. I doubt anyone expected we'd have a ship all to ourselves. They're not casting off just yet, so if you have any lingering concerns, now is the time to voice them. I wouldn't call it a concern, but everyone's still clear on what it is we'll be doing in Tural, yes? I could use a refresher. It's been quite a while since 6.55. I think we're going because there's a contest for who's going to be able to succeed the two-headed lizard person that Amalja that is... Wait, are Amalja the lizard people, or are they the big... Are they the Titan worshippers or the Ifrit worshippers? No, Titan is kobolds. They're not the lizards, right? I don't... Anyway, we'll find out soon enough. My memory is terrible, by the way. And she wants to win, or her side to win, or something like that. Because she's the daughter, or adopted daughter. We've not forgotten. Speak for yourself. The Nation of Tuliyollal is in the midst of deciding its next ruler. As your chosen allies, we shall assist you during the rite of succession and support your bid to become Dawn Servant. The name Dawn Servant is interesting too. Like, have they talked about that yet? I don't know if they have, about like if it's just serving the general concept of Dawn, or if there's one of the 12 or some separate god that's the Dawn. In addition to that, Alphino and I have another objective. As part of its reconstruction, Garlemald seeks ways to reconcile and re-engage with its neighbors. By visiting Tural, we hope to... So Tuliyollal is the city, Tural is like the continent, maybe? We hope to learn more about how its myriad cultures interact with one another, how they find common ground, develop stronger ties, the sort of insights that might help our friends in Ilsabard. I love that they're not dropping this storyline. But we'll pursue this goal in our own time. You can be assured that we'll give the contest all due attention. That's all I ask. Otherwise, you're welcome to do as you like. You wanted to find out about your grandfather, right, Kryl? Yes. As far as we could determine from the old missive I found, he had been tasked with investigating the Golden City by your father, the Dawn Servant. I'd forgotten about that too. Yet, oddly enough, we have no record of that investigation in our archives, and nothing to explain the earring which accompanied the letter. Thus, for reasons both official and personal, I should very much like to get to the bottom of this mystery. I'm sure that there will be a chance to speak with Papa. You can get your answers right from the source. I look forward to meeting him. In any case, you're not the only one with an interest in the City of Gold. Everyone's probably got to have interest in that. The Golden City is a children's bedtime story. I am part of this expedition only because the Third Promise has commanded that I serve as a guide. Is the Third Promise the leader of the Gleaners? Maybe. Still playing the part of the stoic servant, I see. What of you? Don't you dare tell me you've changed your mind. Let's see. Hoist sail, let the wind take us where she pleases. We won't make you Dawn Servant by standing here talking about that. You know what? Let's be enthusiastic. Hoist sail and let the wind take us as she pleases. Well said. We won't get far wallowing in the shallows. Right then. If all are still committed to the journey, then I say we make ready to depart. And we're off. And while I know Urianger and Thancred are on their own, are on one team, I think they might be helping someone else. Didn't mean to go up your clothes there, Aaronville. I think they might be helping someone else become Dawn Servant. I don't know about Estinian. He's off there for some other reason, but I don't know necessarily why. It didn't seem like a contest. Like the contest, but maybe it is. Eager as they are, the others have already left for the harbor. We're not in danger of missing the boarding call, but let's be on our way as well. I'm rocking the Picto Perfect title because I am really enjoying this job so far. It feels like a much, much simplified version of Black Mage, similar... Well, no, I don't know. It's kind of its own thing, but it's a good mixture of long casts with short instant cast windows, and the aesthetics are right up my alley. Big fan. I just don't like how you have to precast the motifs.
Feel your excitement, your eagerness to explore the unknown.
Well, for once, the fate of the world doesn't rest on our shoulders. We might even get a chance to enjoy ourselves.
That sounds unlikely. I've played Final Fantasy games before. I've played all of them, except for 16. All the mainline ones. Even 11.
Oh, Tural may seem but a short sail away on a map. The vast seas between brim with peril. The treacherous waters of Shade's Triangle alone have claimed countless vessels. Even following the safe route plotted by Admiral Bluefisfin herself. This
Bluefisfin.
No pleasure cruise.
Bluefisfin. That's how you pronounce that.
Perhaps, but my voyage here was uneventful enough. Disappointingly so.
Either way, the two of you have first-hand experience,
Friggin' love Wuk Lamat.
which will be of great comfort in the days ahead, I'm sure.
Whoop. Sorry, Kryl. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Aye, it's nothing new to us.
All aboard! We're casting off!
This is the song from the trailer, isn't it?
I trust you have everything you need?
The instrumental part of it. This is more rocking than I would have expected this to be.
And so does our ship cast off from the docks.
Aaronville's our narrator.
We sail west, as Kettenram did some 80 years past, bound for the New World, known to her children as the continent of Tural.
Kettenram. That doesn't look safe. Not like she cares.
Just wait, Papa. When this contest is said and done, it'll be your daughter who sits the throne. Me, Wuk Lamat.
Early prediction. I don't think she's going to sit the throne. Maybe she will, but that's just from a general vague feeling storytelling vibe. I don't think it's like a sure thing. I wouldn't be shocked if she's sitting the throne, but I don't think she is. If she is, she'll be a much changed person. I don't think she'll be the what Grinding Gear calls the shonen anime protagonist that she is right now if she sits the throne, but maybe she will. I don't think she's going to. Here we go. I've said that like 17 times. I don't care. I care a little bit, but I don't really care. Yeah, these two have a lot in common. They have similar energy in a lot of ways.
Smooth sailing so far?
Aye, so far so good.
Arr!
But this sea, she's a fickle one. Calm one moment, blowing a gale the next.
This is a weird voice for this character. Like, he does not look like a swarthy sailor. But you know what? He's a sailor and he sounds swarthy as hell.
I'll take my rest while I can then.
What's the point of a ship's prow?
We left port what seems an age ago now, and we've seen naught but open water ahead. I knew Tural was far, but it's another thing to really know.
Like, is a prow for offensive capabilities, like to plow into a ship, or as like a bumper, like a front bumper sort of deal? I wonder.
Speaking of which, some of our fellow passengers have made this trip before. Several times, in fact. I was able to learn a few things about Tuliyollal and the right of succession. Since we still have a long way to go, why not have a chat with them yourself? I'm sure you have questions of your own. Did you look out across these same waters, Grandfather?
Grandfather, by the way, one of the great characters in Final Fantasy, not necessarily her grandfather, but like the Final Fantasy V Galuf, one of the great Final Fantasy characters around. If you have not played 5, strong recommendation. Either play or watch an LP. Fongentan. Fongentain? Oh, this will be my first visit to Tural. Fongentain's the name. I was working at Ishtime's Aesthetics in Ul'dah. You see, but my employment with them, came to an end. That's why I visited Charlayan in the hopes of starting over. While I was attempting and failing to find a new job, I seized the chance to board this vessel when I overheard room for another passenger had suddenly opened up. I'm told the Dawn Servant welcomes all, regardless of origin, and so Tuliyollal seemed like the perfect place to begin anew. Hopefully things will be better this time around. I guess it depends on why you got, why it ended. Like, did you sleep with your boss's son or daughter? Did you steal from the till? Did you kill a man just to watch him die? Probably not that last one. retired mercenary. I see you in Eorzea before, you great and famous hero. Enough of playing the simpleton. There was a time when we took great pains to maintain the deception. But with more of you Eorzeans coming to Tural, it's become impractical. Wait, what? So you were trying to play like background... So sorry, sneezes. You were trying to play like background NPC to blend in before? Why? Just like because to avoid persecution, to avoid being seen as a threat, maybe? Besides, my mercenary days are over. Too many of our warband have fallen, and so we head home to lick our wounds. Interesting. My story? Well, since you asked, I wanted to retrace the historic journey of the great Ketan Ram, the first Eorzean to set foot on Tural almost 80 years ago. And this brings up another point. The New World, the calling it the New World, and also the whole like Wallachie aesthetic of like hearkening to like native indigenous tribes or like Native Americans or American Indians makes me wonder if they're going to play with like the colonization aspect, like because 80 years ago is not long. Like, were there native peoples on Tural? Were there native peoples there? How were they treated? Were they integrated? Were they respected? Were they obliterated and wiped out? This makes me, the fact that we're starting from the perspective of someone who came there not long ago and set up shop there makes me really interested in how they're going to handle this. The Mamul Jaw's leader is said to have welcomed Ketan Ram with open arms and sent him home with a bounty of silverware as a token of fair friendship. We'll see. We will see. But the Mamul Jaw is still there's still like, and these are the Mamul Jaw, right? Amal Jaw are like the big Ifrit worshippers. These are Mamul Jaw, I think. The fact that there's still like a Mamul Jaw's king is like the Dawn Servant currently, that's a good sign, I think. But the real treasure was the crops he brought back. Popotos, tomatoes, and corn. Yeah, they really are playing into that New World thing. Actually, I don't... Where did potatoes didn't come from the New World, did they? Neither did tomatoes, but corn did. To Europe, at least. Which spread across Eorzea like wildfire. His grand adventure led to a culinary revolution. The tales say Ketan Ram returned to Tural several times after that, but his ship vanished during his last recorded voyage, and he was never heard from again. That even a seasoned explorer like him could meet such an end is a testimony to the ocean's peril. Will we see Ketan Ram? I'm betting we will. I'm betting he's still around, or a primal, or something like that. I feel like Ketan Ram's story is gonna be part of this. Self-assured trader. An adventurer, I presume. I'm a merchant myself, based in Ul'dah. Specialty imports and exports, Eorzean and Turali both. If this is your first crossing the salt, as they say, do remember that the social mores of Eorzea are not necessarily the same as those over yonder. Consider this. It is not uncommon for the various races to be referred to instead by the names of certain clans. For the Mikote, the Hetsaro, the Hrothgar, I'm gonna have to, a lot of these are not, they're not pronounceable in English, it looks like just from the, if this is a herald of what's to come, like there's not Shabral maybe, but I'm sure that we'll hear a voiceover, voice acting like pronunciation of this at some point. So apologies in advance for me mispronouncing it. The Shabral, not because every member of a living clan is the same race, mind, but because many individuals of said race are associated with that clan. A fair assumption in certain cases, but take care not to give offense. One other thing you'll find about me, if this is your first time here, is that I often have trouble processing things. And so I will often, I'll read things and they'll go in one ear and out the other, and I'll have to reread them a second time. So, all right, the races are referred to instead by the names of certain clans. The Hetsaro, the Hrothgar are referred to as the Shabral. So those races are clans. Are they but not because every member of a given clan is. I don't know what a clan is. I guess that's my problem here. Is a clan like the Moon Cat Girls? Like, is that a clan? Because I knew there were like 2 types of races, but I don't think those were clans. Not because every member of a given clan is of the same race, because they won't necessarily be, but because many individuals of said race are associated with that clan. So like the Shabral, for instance, might be largely Hrothgar, and so all Hrothgar will be referred to as Shabral, but there might well also be like a bunny Shabral. I think that's what they're saying. Wait, let me get to the swarthy sailor as cool as possible. Love that ability. Did you want to make a wager? We'd be taking bets on who will be sat next in the Dawn Servant's shiny chair. There are four claimants in the right of succession, your young Wuk Lamat being one of them, of course. But from what a Mamul Jah bloke was telling us, the other 3 are all strong contenders. Not too many keen to risk their coin on the third promise. The other 3 are all strong contenders. Not too many are keen to risk their coin on the third promise. Again, the third promise is Erenville's group, so it's probably not a Gleaner thing. Is that... So maybe Wuk Lamat is an underdog, or an undercat, if you will? So she is the third promise. Or her... Yeah, because they're saying... He's saying if the third promise has you on her side, so she is basically the third promise. Interesting. I'm just talking to them, and occasionally some of them say stuff like this. I look forward to a long soak in the hot springs of Orkopacha, and no complaints when I dance the bathing song. Immediately putting me in mind specifically of Final Fantasy IV, which had many bathing songs and dances. How are you feeling, Wuk Lamat? Deep breaths, deep breaths. Yeah, she's very anxious. She's like incredibly, she goes to extremes. She goes frequently to emotional extremes. Did you learn anything of interest? Oh, I hadn't heard about the clan names. We should have Wuk Lamat and Erenville teach us the ones we should know. Actually, it's a little chilly up here on deck. Let's all gather in the cabin. Stormy seas. Anyone of our crew prone to seasickness?
We're in for a proper storm, it seems.
Of course it's her.
How's your stomach? Any better?
I don't know what you mean. I don't get seasick. I'm just feeling a little nauseous is all.
She's such a cartoon character, and she's so
Isn't
great.
That what seasickness is?
Erenville, you were born in Tural, yes? Do many Vieira live there?
The Shatona, as my people are called, have settlements
Shatona.
mainly in the north, in Tural.
Tural. So I should assume the X's before a vowel at least are sh. Tural.
And your family?
I know nothing of my father, not even his name. As for my mother...
She's gonna be a character.
We're in the teeth of it now, lads. Reef that sail before the mast snaps.
Oh dear.
Only elves at watch. This wind's too strong to take in your sail. Man falling off the mast. We need help. Get him below decks first. Quickly, before he's washed overboard.
Come, we should lend what aid we can.
I've been on stormy seas only a couple times, and I was very seasick. We went through the Panama Canal, And specifically the Atlantic side was very seasick. The Pacific side was fine.
I've not seen the ocean rage with such fury before or since.
I mean, we fought Leviathan.
The heaving waves.
Oh, but this is
tossed our
Erenville. This is
ship about
Erenville.
like a toy, sending sailors tumbling. The dauntless Alizé, quick to the rescue, was almost lost to the sea herself.
This is scary as hell. What are these? Crystals? I mean, they're not like
Our
primal
champion
summoners, but
rushed to deploy the vessel's magical defenses, and thereby shield us from the lightning.
this is what they did during the Leviathan fight, isn't it? It looks familiar. I don't know if it's the same thing, but it sure looks familiar.
What an extraordinary life she must lead to be able to operate such a device with practiced ease.
That must be what they're referring to. The freeze frame and sepias are
Wuk Lamat,
Interesting.
too, threw herself into the rescue efforts, though one might have mistaken her for another soul in distress.
like, this makes me think that this is from the perspective of a book that Erenville is writing, and these are like illustrations that has to go with it, or at least is making in his mind.
By the time the unruly seas had calmed, our strength was all but spent, and we had yet to even glimpse the shores of Tural. In retrospect, of course, that battle against the storm would prove a fitting prelude to the coming contest for the throne.
Things will get rocky. I'm also expecting the battle for the throne to be not a false alarm or a red herring. I think it'll be a real thing, but I don't think like the final boss of the expansion is going to be the other contestant. I think this is Act 1 of 3 or something. Oh, don't seagulls mean like we're like close to land? Or whatever those are. Like seabirds are, because they have to have a place to set foot. To alight. To land.
Morning. Joining us for some fresh air? Seems my belly has settled along with the weather, but I'll feel much better once we're on solid ground.
It was more than just a hairball.
Ugh. Can't be much farther now, can it?
No, I don't think so. Are those blue-footed boobies?
Seabirds. Land must be near. You need only hold out a while longer.
I'm Googling this. I don't know if the blue-footed boobies are seabirds, though. No, it is a I don't know if it's a seabird, but it looks like a blue-footed booby is a marine bird, and they are adorable as heck. They also don't have... The beak doesn't match the beak doesn't match the feet. Beak looks like a gray thing, but I don't know. I'm looking at a quick Wikipedia thing.
For a dark moment, I thought the ocean might swallow us. Glad to have my pessimism proven wrong.
Shortest expansion ever.
Good news, I examined the sailor who took a fall, and he's faring well. I'm sure he'll make a full recovery.
Good
So we're
news
seeing that the
indeed.
twins are in it.
If all's well, then we needn't delay in launching the landing boat.
They're Ellison of action.
Ships have to lower anchors some way from shore. Too close, and they risk having their underbellies ripped open by the reefs that crowd Tuliyollal's coasts. Come.
I keep seeing, like, what are they setting up? And a lot of this is stuff that they're not actually setting up, it's just flavor. But, like, so Tuliyollal is probably tough to attack by sea. There's... How do they get in? I guess you have to board, like, a smaller ship, like a canoe, that sort of thing.
Thanks for bringing us all this way.
Ha! We only did what we were paid to do. Couldn't hardly set you adrift halfway. If anything, it should be us thanking you for helping us through that beast of a storm.
This is my cat Pigeon, by the way. Usually he's not going to be on camera because he's going to be sleeping in the chair next to me most of his life. Well, most of his life is actually probably accurate. But yeah, this is him. He's a good boy of about 17 years old now. Maybe a little bit older. Maybe like 18.
As a matter of fact, everyone's starting to fancy your chances in the contest. At this rate, we won't be able to lay wagers no more.
Then I better not let you down.
She doesn't seem like a... I don't know what... I was going to say like a queen, but a Dawn Servant isn't necessarily a queen. I don't know what a Dawn Servant is. She's so... I don't know, it would be like... I'm thinking of 5. It would be like Farah... Like, Farah's fighting hard to be like the queen. Like, but again, Dawn Servant might be very different from like the traditional queen I have in mind.
Easy, stomach. Easy.
She's more... You know who she reminds me of? She's much more like Edge. Edge was a prince of Eblon.
If there's nothing left to say, then let's shove off, shall we?
Eblon? Edge was a prince of Eblon who later became like king, and she might very well be like a leader in the way that King Edge was in the after years.
Blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities. I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
I'm not usually one for tropical climes. I much prefer my home here in Minnesota and its winters and autumns.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
But this looks appealing. That water, that clear water.
There, look at my friends. Behold the scene of our next great adventure.
Oh, we got Tuliyollal. Oh, look at that!
We are come to the land you call the New World. To my home, Tural.
Here we go. Oh, yes. Yep. I love her with her hair down, too. I don't know hair terms, but like the little clips and sprigs and that sort of thing. All great. Jazzy as hell. Wuk Tural. Are we in like... Is this like the Squirrel Nut Zippers hired on to... This is great. Got a little goblin there. No, this is another thing. I just saw that face. So that mask, I know that parts of Final Fantasy 9 and 10 are involved in this expansion. Is that I don't remember what they're called, the kind of, you had to find their language in Final Fantasy 10. Not the Besaid. Besaid, maybe? Is it Besaid?
Gods, I've seen cities with an impressive mix of cultures, but this is something else.
It's actually a good point. A lot of the places we've been to have been relatively homogenous, at least in some of the... maybe not. No, that's not fair. I don't know.
Is that a... No. I've never seen Vanu feathers in that color before.
They're so pretty. They're like little macaws.
You'll find much here you never knew existed. There may be a sea route now, but visitors to Tuliyollal are still few and far between.
So these are all... This is not just
As
traders.
we don't build seafaring ships. Only a handful of Turali ever venture abroad.
Interesting.
Mammoth
giant-
sellswords mostly. Those willing to play the fool sail with Lominsan merchants to secure employment in Eorzea.
There's that thing again. Those willing to play the fool.
I suppose that makes us a rare sight in your country.
It's got to be to avoid seeming like a threat, right?
Rare and currently undocumented. Were there some forms we should fill out or...
Forms? Did you forget who you're traveling with?
So not super strict security as long as we're with her.
You are outsiders? Visitors to Tural?
So Shabral Landsguard, I'll call it.
We are.
Our nation is soon to hold a right of succession to choose its next Dawn servant. We will not abide interference from foreign agents seeking to foment trouble. What brings you to Tuliyollal?
Fair concern.
I can answer that. These fine people are allies in my succession bid.
Is that going to hurt her? Like, is that going to make her look like she's, like, being propped up by foreign entities?
Third promise. If you vouch for them, then all is well. Of course.
Please, accept our apologies.
The colors are just wild.
No need to bow and scrape. That our soldiers are so diligent in their duties fills me with pride.
So she's respected, certainly.
We'll be continuing our patrol then.
Like, they seem to like and respect her. It's hard to tell, though. I mean, if regardless of whether you respect someone, if she's like basically a potential heir to the throne, you're gonna act like this for the most part. If you're a guard, I mean.
Well, well. You really are a figure of authority here.
But I got the vibe that it was authentic.
Are you suggesting I don't look the part? Anyway, first things first. I bid you welcome to Tuliyollal.
And so I'm looking at the logo there. I've seen that logo, the Tuliyollal logo in the what do you call it? The travel thing here. This thing. So it's like a snake. Let me get a little better look at it here. Oh yeah, look at this. And Aunt T's tacos. Oh my gosh. I'm having tacos for lunch, 100%, by the way. Yeah, it's like a snake with... Is there maybe two heads, or it's one head? Like, it could be like a head to the left, head to the right, with one eye for the side, but no, it looks more likely to be a... Is this Valagarmonda? Because that's something they told us before. They told us about Valagarmonda. It was like a winged... I mean, in 6, Valagarmonda was like a chicken. Like, but like, I think Valagarmonda's like, they described it as like a winged serpent sort of deal. Maybe that's what that is. That could well be. That's my current guess about what that symbol is. I don't remember what they said about Valagarmonda, but it was definitely mentioned as a thing and probably a trial at some point. According to Erenville, the Vanu I saw belongs to a clan known as the Hanu Hanu. It seems they share more than the physical appearance, for the physical resemblance. The Vanu you saw, the kind of the macaw-looking one, belongs to a clan known as the Hanu Hanu. They share more than a physical resemblance. Who shares more than a physical resemblance? That Vanu shares one with the Vanu you know? I don't quite get that. Look at all this place. And that's right, and at some point, not here, but I actually have to remember to use my ether compass when I'm out in regular zones again. New expansion stuff. Well, despite the storm's efforts to the contrary, here we are, safe and sound. A new world to explore indeed. You've arrived in Tuliyollal. You can return to the city at any time by speaking with the swarthy sailor in Scholar's Harbor and Old Charlian. Wonderful. Any side quests open up yet? Not yet. The Nation of Tuliyollal. While being on solid ground has improved Wuk Lamat's mood, her stomach appears to be lagging behind. That's rough. Mountain Chromite Weapon Coffer. A reinforced chest with impressive metallic filigree that suggests a valuable weapon lies within. I wonder how... I don't remember how they do it here. I know that, like in World of Warcraft, for instance, when you go to a new expansion, the first crappiest green, but like lowest quality item you see in the new expansion is better than your legendary from the last expansion. I don't think that's the case here, not as drastically. So I might be keeping my, well, not as a Pictomancer. My Red Mage gear is pretty good, but as a Pictomancer, I might be upgrading quickly. Right then, first things first. Still a bit queasy. No more boats for a while. Yeah, sea legs are a real thing. Like, I remember getting off a boat and just having a real trouble adjusting after I was on it for a while. I realize we've just arrived, but we should get you familiar with the city before the rite of succession begins. No arguments here. I should very much like to explore. Then I'll guide you. She's doing her best. Are you sure you're in any condition to do so? The colors, I can't get over this like aquamarine and rich, I don't know what color, vermilion? That like rich red on their mantles? Curious passerby. Aha! We were wondering who these strange folk were. So the third promise has found yourself some new followers then. Followers? You love her, you know it. Wuk Lamat, are you unwell? I love the Hrothgar mustache whisker thing. One of the characters in Bozja Southern Front had it, and it was great there, and it's great here. No, not at all. Couldn't be better. The third promise does not get seasick, no sir. As for my hand-picked entourage here, I've recruited them to help me win the rite of succession. I was about to show them around the city, in fact. That sounds lovely. But a group of foreigners is going to attract attention, especially if they're in the company of the third promise. Everyone will be curious. We certainly were. It's a fair point. We'll be like celebrities. Your siblings have a tendency to command a respectful distance, but you're just so easy to approach. Yeah, so her siblings are probably more traditionally regal, and she's, I mean, again, she's shonen as heck. From what little shonen I've seen. And I enjoy it so much when you do. Please do not ever worry about me that you're a bother to me. You're very kind. Good day to you, third promise. I do worry this is gonna hurt her in some ways. Not in being less respected, but in being... like, it'll make her easier to attack. Like, I wouldn't be so... like, it feels like she'd be vulnerable to assassination since she's so easy to approach. They did have a point. Wuk Lamat is technically royalty here. Like it or not, a person of her station surrounded by this many outsiders is bound to draw a crowd. Wait, what do you mean technically? I suggest we move in 2 groups so as to attract less attention. Just technically ignoring me that, yeah, she's... Some people, it's really easy to get their goat. Like, she seems like her goat is eminently gettable. Eminently and frequently gettable. Kukushu, you and Kry'll come with me. I'll take the twins then. We'll get in touch once we've had a good look around. That voyage was hard on all of us, so take it slow and recuperate. We have enough time enough for that. Enjoy your wanderings. I get to go with Wookiee. Perhaps we should wait a bit, at least until Wuk Lamat's nausea subsides. No need for that. Look, I'm ready to go. Look at this place. This is a pretty large area. Let me take a look at this map, by the way. Because this is... The map made this look like a large continent, and it's hard to tell how... I mean, it depends on how many zones there are, but this... I mean, it looks as large as... I don't know the names of the continents. It looks incredibly large, though. I think it looks incredibly large. What do we got around the side here? We got dragons, we got ships, we got... Chocobo warriors, chocobo riders, like chocobo cavalry here. Tural, yeah, Tural is the continent. So the continent of Tural, the continent of the Northern Empty? Oh, no, the Northern Empty is like, right, that place by the burn and stuff. I don't know what that says. Anyway. Let's do one more, sure. Didn't mean to talk to you. I'm fine now, really. Can't stand around all day feeling sorry for myself, what with the contest looming and all. Tell you about the harbor. Excuse me. Erinville already mentioned the reefs in our coastal waters, which explains why you don't see any big ships moored at the docks. Only vessels with shallow drafts can navigate the bay. I never heard that word before, draft, in that context. I guess a draft is like how deep it goes. Mostly small fishing boats or barges ferrying cargo up and down the rivers from inland settlements. Much of the incoming traffic is from Tural, the southern landmass. The clans there produce various goods for export. Their wares are unloaded here and carted off to the merchant stalls in the neighboring markets. Speaking of which, Bayside Bevies should be our next stop. Yes, conversation points, we've seen all that. So, this is... Oh wait, so Tural is the part that we're on, and Tural is the northern part. Okay, Tural, Tural. Email Ja. I think your cloak is amazing, your hat is amazing, everything about you is amazing. Welcome back. Next I'll have you carry mistook me for dock worker. Yes. Good player name right here with obsessive disorder. Just a new place is just this is just exciting. This is Bayside Bevy, Tuliyollal's largest marketplace. Being right next to right on the harbor, everything from fresh fish to imported wares go directly to the shelves. Anything you want, they most likely have. Oh, right, I should mention here that here in Tuliyollal, we buy things with Pel, a currency that Pelu Pelu created. Have we heard of Pelu Pelu before in-game? I don't think so. But don't worry, more and more trade is coming in from Eorzea, so most shops are happy to accept your gil. There's also Wachumeki Meki, another market to the east of here, but that can wait for another time. I have other places I want to show you first. Next we'll head back a bit, then northwards up the stairs to a certain plaza. I can't wait to see the look on your faces. This is going to be like a statue of Wuk Lamat. Need some experienced in trades for leave meets. Is that probably not open to me yet? But I will show off that I do have... where is this? Yeah, I do have all my land and hand jobs up to... Could I have been... Could I didn't even notice that it could have been... Oh no, this is... I'm wondering what the bottom bar is here. This got to be... This is the desynthesis bar, right? Alchemist is lowest. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, all my land and hand jobs are up to 90, and so I will probably be doing those as I go. Brook to Son. So again, this is all related to the leave meets. Here at the Wing of Reflection. Yeah. So we'll come back to that. It's such an interesting choice for a tropical setting because I was expecting, of course, I was expecting I associate this music with, like, I was going to say big city, but this is a big city. I was going to say with, like, again, very urban, not tropical, but this is a big city. It's just different kind of city. So the clan board can't accept any of the bills posted at present yet. Ooh, look at this market board. This is a pretty market board. By the way, I think my Pictomancer thing is level 80. Hopefully I'll be able to upgrade that soon. I don't want to buy anything, though. Look at that Ethernet shard. It has a... I mean, it has a very... I'm going to be general here because I don't know... I'm very not versed in this. But it has what feels to me like... I don't know if it's Aztec or Inca, but some kind of Central or South American vibe to it. So the Aetheryte here, what is this? The Resplendent Quarter, it said? I didn't see that. Resplendent Quarter. Nope, I'm gonna talk to Wuk. What do you think of that, eh? It's a pretty big crystal. Goodness me, you have Aetherites in Tuliyollal. I think I told you before, but my brother Koana spent 3 years studying in Sharlayan. He fell in love with the nation and its ways and brought back to us the knowledge of Aetherite construction. Papa warmed to the idea at once, had one built immediately. So they're open to outside views, very, again, which makes sense. Bagel and Locks, look at that player name. Which makes sense. They're not insular, this is not Sharlayan. Nor... what's the Heavensward place? Ishgard. This is not Ishgard, this is not Sharlayan. Oh, did you do the attuning thing? If you're ready to continue, we'll head down again, and then up the slope at the side. Right at the top is the gate which leads to Tural. Let's make a stop at Bright Plume Post on the way. That's the headquarters for the Landsguard. I don't know what the Landsguard is. I guess the town guard, the city guard. But we will attune as we go. Look at this character's dress. Oh, she went away. It was like gold with like white birds on it. That was really pretty. And so Pictomancer feels well-suited. Talon March. Interesting. I guess this is where the, like a parade ground or like where, what do you call the Ixal or whatever the tribes are would march up. Yeah. So I was saying the Pictomancer, yeah, like the aesthetic, the bright colors, that feels very in line with this place's aesthetic. Discuss Tuliyollal's elevation. We have a lot of narrow, winding streets that crawl up the sides of the mountain. As you can see, though, the builders made sure that the city's main thoroughfares were wide enough to accommodate wagons. Discuss, yeah, Kryal. Trudging up and down all these slopes and stairs is exhausting. I understand now where Wuk Lamat gets her endless endurance. And that's a real thing, like about, where are we going? We're going up here. That's a real thing with elevated areas. Like I know Colorado sports teams have that advantage where other teams will get winded more easily and... Oh no, I can't mount here. Other teams will get winded more easily and runners from you know, higher elevations are always kick butt and marathons and the like. That's a good lad. What a good little turtle beast thing. Snuffle. Oh, they make snuffly noises. They're great. I'm going to try... I don't know if chocobo vendors or chocobo, you know, ports are going to be a thing. I'd like them to incorporate, to have a reason to use them again, but I haven't had a reason to use them really since level 30. Bol Majun. You are a badass. This here is Bright Plume Post, known as the Landsguard's headquarters. Under the command of the great Zoral Ja, we hone our combat skills in order to apprehend any threats detected on patrol. You may come and go as you like, but do not cause trouble, hear me? Here we are, Bright Plume Post. The soldiers stationed here are responsible for defending Tuliyollal and preserving the peace. The Landsguard are led by our nation's strongest warrior. That's, I already forgot their names. Ahulja? Zoralja. And so naturally, Papa has commanded them since the beginning. At least until 3 years ago when Zoralja took over as commander. The title is no empty honor. It means the first promise is considered equal to the Dawn Servant in martial strength. The first promise is considered equal to the Dawn Servant. Is Zoral Ja going to be one of the competitors? Maybe that's one of the, Is the promise the way they call the children of the... Like, the children of the king, because... The children of the Dawn Servant? That's really cool. If that's the case, that's really cool, because it's like... The first promise is the oldest. Like, this is the first one to show promise. Like, let's see what promise they have to be the ruler. Second promise, third promise. And so if that were the case, then Wuk Lamat would have a one younger sibling. Adoptive or whatever, or not. I don't know. Meanwhile, I haven't even managed to... Well, I'll discuss my brothers and their accomplishments later. Alphino and Alizé should be around to hear it too. Come on, it's time I showed you the Sky Gate, right at the northern end of Talon March. Wavka. Wavkwa? I'm just... The plumage. The plumage! Look at the friggin' plumage! What do you have to say, Mobile Ja? As hard as we train, make no mistake, Tuliyollal is a safe and peaceful city. Looking back, it's hard to believe every last corner of Tural was embroiled in a war a mere 80 years ago. So that was when they first arrived. So maybe it wasn't, maybe the establishment of the city and its people was not so peaceful as I might have been thinking. Grey Malkin. What's Grey Malkin a reference to? I'm thinking something fairy-ish. Like, is there some kind of cat fairy beast known as a Grey Malkin? Zoral Ja. That's clearly a Mamul Ja name. An interesting family. This is the Sky Gate. And what a Sky Gate. Massive, isn't it? I'm trying to give her a voice like an excited thing. And on the other side is an equally massive bridge to match. Both were constructed by a race of giants, the Yokhui. Again, pronunciation they'll tell me, I'm sure, at some point. Strictly speaking, Tural is actually two separate continents. Tural, the southern lands of the mother, and Tural, the northern lands of the father, which lie beyond the bridge. Legends say it used to be one great landmass, but long, long ago, the two gods fought a titanic battle, and when one threw the other to the ground, the impact was so devastating as to split the continent in twain. A familiar-sounding tale. I am put in mind of the conflict between Hydaelyn and Zodiark. Yeah, is that their interpretation of it? But getting back to Tural, those lands are also part of the Tuliyollal nation, correct? So Tural is the continent. Tuliyollal isn't necessarily the city, but it's the civilization. That's right, isn't my father incredible? He united the peoples of 2 continents into a single nation. The many clans of Tural have been at war for generations. It was only when Papa traveled the lands and put a stop to their myriad conflicts that we finally had peace. They're leaving this really open, and it's in an interesting ways. Like, again, it could be he put a stop to their myriad conflicts by, like, conquering them all and subjugating everyone. It could be he brought peace to them. It could be any number of things. And that's the reason I want to win the throne, so I can preserve the peace he built. But I see you're more interested in what's behind the gate than hearing about my aspirations. I'm interested in both. Crossing the bridge to Tural requires a special travel pass. Unfortunately, they won't issue any new permits until the mid-80s or higher, probably, or mid-90s, until the rite of succession is over. I promise to get you one when I'm Dawn Servant, but until then, you'll just have to wait. Then I'll make sure you win. Mark my words. I'm going to try to match her energy. You really mean that? Woe to any who stands between you and adventure. Anything else to say, Wookiee? I'm not going to call her Wookiee. I'm a little bit disrespectful. Tired from all this walking? Take a moment to rest and we'll continue the tour. Must have covered half the city by now. Tuliyollal is unlike any other place I've visited. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. And we got a new... Yeah. Ginseng angle brush. Is this better? Oh, it's absolutely better. That is a... kind of an elegant brush. I like the black with the white. And it changes the palette too, right? So like the palette before is just a simple brown palette I can see. Whereas this palette is, yeah, it has that kind of black and white patterning to it. That black like leather embossing on the inside. By the way, it occurs to me that I actually have never tried dyeing anything, I don't think. Can I dye this? No. Oh, because there's a glamour cast on it. If you wanted to dye something and then glamour, I'd have to... Okay, no, I'd have to dye the base armor. Okay, I won't worry about that for now. Oh, wait, and can I now go here? I can now go here to Tuliyollal. And the city itself is Tuliyollal. So the city and the civilization are both Tuliyollal. All right, second half of the tour. Yeah, sure. We'll head west next, towards the Arch of the Dawn. The dirigible landing is on the way. You have dirigibles too? Tuliyollal certainly doesn't want for methods of travel. We get by. Now, if you've seen enough of this area, let me know and we'll continue on. The Arch of the Dawn is on the other side of the city, so speak up if you see something that interests you as we walk. So we're heading to the west of the city, right? Yeah. So we reach the stairs. I'm still struggling to conceive how one could construct an entire city on the side of a mountain. Also, one of the... I only played... I didn't play Horde much then, but wasn't the... There was a particularly... This is kind of giving me similar vibes to that Horde city from Battle for Azeroth, but which I... Again, visually was fantastic, but I think was kind of a pain to get around from what I hear. They didn't have Aetherites, though. This was originally the site of a Yokwei temple. The giants built it when they were first making the bridge to Tural to appease the god who slumbers in the great ocean trench. Again, they're setting up the gods who fought each other and split the thing, the giants who may have grievances, or may not. They may be totally happy here. The and a god who slumbers in the in the ocean trench. After the Yokwe withdrew, the temple stood empty for centuries, so when Papa was establishing his new nation, he saw a structure he could refurbish into a palace sitting practically in the center of Tural. That is uncomfortable. He gathered artisans to do the work, and the houses they built for themselves became the foundation of the city you see today. That is really uncomfortable. Maybe it's not, but again, the vibes I'm getting from that of saying like, yeah, there were giants who lived here before they had this temple. We won't necessarily go into what happened to them just yet, but we took that holy temple and we just made it our seat of power. Speaking of houses, we'll be passing through the Resplendent Quarter, the biggest residential district in Tuliyollal. We climb these sets of stairs here, all the way up. You know what? This music is familiar to me because I think when I was playing with my friend right at the start of Dawntrail, when I was doing like we're just queuing up for a roulette, this was in the background I could hear, and this I think is that music, that like bop and jam. God, this is so good. This is so good. Best city theme? This might be the best city music. It's early. I'll see how I feel after the Dawntrail honeymoon, but discuss the palace. It's quite a palace. The sheer scale of this place is incredible. I wonder what that carving at the top represents. Carving at the top. So it was two heads. Huh. I mean, that's got to be... We know that the Dawn Servant currently has two heads, so maybe that's just the Dawn Servant, but that'll make it a little bit weird when someone who's not a two-headed lizard person is the Dawn Servant. But it'll just be it would still honor the past anyway. Wuk Lamat. Papa's palace is called Volok Shunsa, which roughly translates to invincible resilience. You probably want to take a closer look, but we'll be coming back here later. For now, let's move on. Oh, move on. Okay. Oh, shit. Sorry, Kryl. Wuk Lamat's probably okay with jumping off cliffs, but I didn't mean to force you into that. Look at this! I mean, look at Wuk Lamat's abs, yes. But also look at this! They're so cute! Oh, I should have attuned at Volok Shunsa. My bad. I forgot. Wait. So this is... I thought I would be able to have conversation parts here, but no. So this is the Resplendent Quarter. What manner of people live here? Oh, we have residents from all the Tural clans. Mamwilja, Shabral, Pelu Pelu, Moblin, Hanu Hanu. So the Hanu Hanu are the Vanu. The Moblin are presumably goblins. Pelu Pelu, I don't know what the Pelu Pelu are. And the Shabral are... I already forgot. Were they the rabbits or something else? We also have Tonawauta, Hitsaro, and Shatona, who moved south from their ancestral lands in Shak Tural. In essence, it's a gathering of people from every corner of Tural. A true representation of Tuliyollal's diverse character. The adornments on each building contribute to the eclectic cultural aesthetic. It's all so beautiful! Oh, that was Kryl, my bad. I'm so glad you think so. And we continue down the stairs. Travel by paint is the only way to travel. Discuss the huge drum. What huge drum? Oh, is that a drum? Yeah, I see someone pounding away at it. Yep, that's a drum. That big drum is called the Dawn Herald. They play it for formal occasions like when honoring the Landsguard's return from a dangerous duty. I tried hitting it with my axe once and ripped the skin. Earned me a proper scolding, let me tell you. I think that was the time Papa held me upside down by the ankle. That would get you an upside down ankle holding. I've never seen such an enormous drum. What would one even use to beat such an instrument? I think we're about to see. So there's a... The chocobos are alpacas here. The chocobos are alpacas. Look at that smile. Again, I'm going to make a World of Warcraft reference. One of the great parts of... One of the greatest things to come out of Battle for Azeroth was that Volpera that sung about Dolly and Dot. If you want to hear one of the greatest things World of Warcraft has to offer, and you're not familiar with this, go to YouTube and search for Dolly and Dot song. Alpaca Keep. There, who's a pretty girl? These are... Alpaca Keep. This is the person, this is the thing that looks like that, that Final Fantasy X tribe, race, group, culture? I don't know. Welcome. If it's an alpaca you need, then look no further. Before we get you saddled up, I'll need to add your name to our register. It'll make things smoother next time you need a ride. Hire an alpaca porter. Oh, I have to tell you where you're heading. Yeah. Learn about alpaca porters. Tired of walking everywhere, or perhaps averse to magical means of traveling? Then sit back, relax, and enjoy a leisurely ride astride one of my alpacas. Few things I should mention. Never take your hands off the rein. The alpaca would sooner spit on you than wait to see if you're keen to remount. Second, you'll need to... Yeah, so once you get off, they're gone. Second, you'll need to have registered at your destination. Yep. Smarter than they look, and they know their routes, but keep them to their course, and you'll be good. And you'll never be attacked. So standard chocobo riding things. I'm going to try to use these more just because I like alpacas. And here are our dirigibles. Not bad, eh? I'm Googling. I don't know what a dirigible is. Oh, this is what it is. It's a balloon. Those are the things that were in that Ixali dungeon, aren't they? I think it was Ixal. Again, maybe it was a Vanu. No, it was a Vanu dungeon or Ixal dungeon. I don't remember. I hear other nations use airships to sail the skies, but you'll find only balloons in Tuliyollal. We have them for the exact same reason as the Aetherites. Koana brought back the plans from Sharlayan, and Papa thought them fantastic and commissioned their construction. That was around 3 years ago. Koana. So Koana is... I don't remember if she said yet. Since that time, we've added flights to other settlements. Trade with frontier communities has never been easier. Enough about dirigibles, the Arch of the Dawn awaits. As does a tuning here, which I didn't do before because I'm a dunkus. I'm just getting a full look at this dirigible that, again, I will never say no to Wuk Lamat's abs, but look at that. I got family out in New Mexico. I want to visit at one point to see the... I know there's a big hot air balloon fair in Albuquerque. And I think it'd be great to see that at some point in my life. So this is the Arch of the Dawn that goes where? To just the rest of Tural? This is it, the Arch of the Dawn. When the Giants were still here, it was known as the Tural Landgate. But when Papa founded Tuliyollal, everyone else began using its present name in honor of his great achievement. And the Giants have been through some crap. Like, remember the... What was that? It was the... It's one of the first dungeons you get to out in Ul'dah where you fight the Giants and they were just angry at being enslaved, basically. Through this gate is Kozamauka, the wetland south of the city. Depending on what the Rite of Succession asks of us, we might end up going in that direction. Kozamauka, the name alone is intriguing. Speaking of which, what were those fluffy animals we passed earlier? Look at them, their little smiles. Ah, those are alpacas, fearsome four-legged fiends. Fearsome, they seem quite placid to me. You will learn soon enough, Kryl. You'll learn soon enough. I'm not surprised Wuk Lamat has beef with alpacas. I could imagine them like ripping one of her shirts and she's getting all angry at it, and the alpaca's just smiling and holding on and chewing. But forget the alpacas. I have something far more important to show you. Come along. What is she carrying on her right side in the glass balls? Is that a painter thing? Like a pictomancy thing? I'd never seen that before, if so. Let me see if we can get a closer look. There's no way I am this much taller than Kryl. Is Kryl short for a Lalafell? She actually is. I don't think I ever noticed that. Or maybe I'm tall for a Lalafell. Yeah, I can't quite see what those are. Something blue, something red. Got to be some kind of paint or art thing. If you wish to learn the history of Tuliyollal, then look no further. These stone pillars, you mean? Yes, probably the stone pillars. I've been debating for a little bit about whether I keep going and make this just a super long session. I think it's probably okay. I think it's probably okay to keep going a little bit longer, because this feels like a weird stopping point. Alright, a saga in stone. Kryl regards the stone pillars curiously. What's special about these pillars, if I may ask? At a glance, they look like ordinary stone decorations, but if you take a really good look, you'll see there's something much more interesting. Yeah, they've got to be like telling a story, right? You got a person about to dap up a, that's probably her father. Shaking hands with a goblin. Yeah, this is the father going about doing stuff. Meeting people. Meeting a... I don't know what that is. I know I recognize it, but I don't know the name. I don't remember the name. Oh, one of them's been rubbed off. Maybe something they're ashamed of? Or something yet to be written. Maybe that's like the next chapter in the story. They're leaving it blank. Yeah, kind of the Dawn servant with two swords battling. Meeting a... I don't know what that is. Two people in a trench coat. I think that's a giant. No, that's a... I don't know. I think that's just so... I think that's someone who's shorter, maybe? Yeah, I'm sure we'll find out right now. Following event can't be skipped. Cancel any pending duty finder registration. Inspect the stone pillars, yes. Pictures? Wait, no, these are glyphs. They seem to tell a series of stories, many of them featuring a two-headed Mamul Jah. Oh, then this must be... That's right. It follows the exploits of my father, Gulul Jaja, and his journey to unite our lands. We call it the Tuliyollal Saga. I think they pronounce it with a H, right? Tuliyollal? The deeds he performed and the bonds he forged, all immortalized in stone. There's no better way to learn how Tuliyollal came to be. Study them as long as you like. Lay of the Brotherhood, Lay of Reeds, Wuk Lamat, Lay of Pots, Lay of Repast. Alright, first we're going to study Wuk Lamat, the most important part. The 4 stones closest to us cover the first half of Papa's travels. Let's start with those. And then there's 4 more. Again, one of them is blank. Lay of the Brotherhood. This pillar tells of the lay of the Brotherhood. A lay is like a song or like a saga or tale, right? It depicts the scene where Papa granted an audience to the foreign explorer something. I can never remember the name. You mean Ketenram? Wait, so... Interesting. So earlier I was misunderstanding some of this then. I thought that Ketenram came here and then later like Mamul and then the father, the Dawn Servant, Jalul Jaja or whatever his name is, was the successor, but no. Ah, that's the one. Ketenram's arrival in Tural is what prompted Papa to embark on his own journey. It's said that the two grew to be close friends, brothers in spirit if not blood. But no one knows what became of the explorer in later years. Ketenram's disappearance is a mystery. Oh, Kryl. Ketenram's disappearance is a mystery in Eorzea as well. The records say he traveled between our lands and yours for a while, but then it's assumed he was lost at sea. For all I know, maybe he became the god sleeping in the sea, or he was eaten by it, or something. Lay of Reeds. Here we have the Lay of Reeds. This is the story of when Papa visited the Hanu in their village in Kozamauka. Ah, the people Alphino almost mistook for Vanu if not for the colorful plumage. He spent a fair bit of time among the Vanu in the Sea of Clouds, so it's no surprise he took an interest in your countrymen. I don't know how it is with your Vanu, but our Hanu are a bright and cheerful sort. They hold this one festival every year, very famous and a lot of fun. Lay of Repast. This has got to be up Wuk Lamat's alley. This one counts the Lay of Repast. As you can probably tell, the figure depicted here is of the Shabral, like me. So the Shabral are the Hrothgar clan, or the clan that's made up largely of Hrothgar. For decades, the Shabral and the Mamul were at war for control of the forest of Yak-Ta'el. So there was this existing civilization. This is my understanding of now. There was this existing civilization. There were all these different clans and races and tribes or clans, I guess they're calling them clans and races, scattered throughout. They were here for a while, long before Ketenram came over and explored 80 years ago. Before those races were set up, even longer before that, the giants were a thing, and then the giants were gone for reasons we don't know about. Okay. And then there's the Wallachie at some point, which I'm sure we'll see down the road. The actions Papa took to end the conflict have since been hailed as the first steps in the founding of Tuliyollal. There's a clan of Hrothgar in Bozia known as Hellions. In their subject, the women rule as queens and the men serve as devoted subjects. Yet here in Tural, Shabral men and women appear to be of equal status. How dramatically culture can vary with location. And then Lay of Pots. Let's see. This one is the Lay of Pots, which depicts the Moblins of Kozamauka. They might wear odd masks and sound weirdly muffled when they talk, but the gold and silver work they sell is the best you'll find anywhere. Moblin goods are the standard when it comes to gift giving. Clearly, the Vanu aren't the only people with distant Turali counterparts. Well, if you're done with the first half, we can move on to the second. Yeah, let's go. We'll view that blank one last. Lay of Gold, Lay of Ice, blank, and Lay of Proof. Yeah, the blank has got to be just whatever comes next. Unless it... Yeah, I was thinking, is it something they're ashamed of that they erased? But probably not. Because it's farthest down. But this isn't necessarily chronological. No, this is chronological, I think. Start with Wuk. And these 4 comprise the rest of the saga. Lay of Gold. The Lay of Gold. This pillar shows one of the Pelu whose homeland is in Urkopacha. Having created our currency, the Pelu are rightfully known as the Merchant Clan. They oversee Tuliyollal's markets, and their traveling peddlers are a common sight, no matter where you go in Tural. Don't let their size fool you. They might be mistaken as children, but beneath those beaked masks they are clever and calculating traders. This sounds like a... what do you call it? Allied Society now? Is that Allied Races? I think Allied Races is the WoW thing. Allied Society, maybe? That sounds like it's going to be an Allied Society. Lay of Ice. Oh, this one is my favorite. The Lay of Ice. It depicts the battle with the legendary Tural Vidral, Valagar Manda. The legendary Tural Vidral. But Tural is lowercase here. And Vidral I don't know. So it is that winged thing. I should explain. A Tural Vidral is a creature that has lived far beyond its usual lifespan and awakened to preternatural power. The Four Lords. Are the Four Lords Tural Vidral? I'll bet they have. I'll bet they are. Thank you, Cryo. I'm glad they said it first. Tataru described the Far Eastern auspices in a similar fashion. Could this be the same phenomenon? Sure feels like it. Valagar Manda itself was dubbed the Sky Ruin, a name earned from the destruction and terror it visited upon Tural every time it stirred from its slumber. And so I'll bet the thing in the ocean might be the same thing. I keep thinking about that thing now. But 80 years ago or so, its ruinous reign was brought to an end. After a great struggle, Papa and his comrades managed to overcome the raging Vidral and sealed it away in the Urkopacha Mountains. They did not kill it, they sealed it away. I see that. Despite its reputation, however, Valagar Manda is also a symbol of power. That's why you'll see its... I'm the best, I'm the smartest human being alive. That's why you'll see its likeness on Tuliyollal's national emblem and adorning the banners at the palace. So it's going to be an ice-based thing, which makes sense. I mean, in 6 it was like an ice, it was encased in ice, and I think I didn't use the espers in 6 all that often as espers, beyond just stat boosts, but I think it had an ice attack probably. Lay of Proof. Ah, the Lay of Proof. That big fellow is of the Yokwe, the largest of Tural's people. These giants, the Yokwe are giants. These giants once used their great size and strength to establish a dominion encompassing all of Yok Tural. Having brought the southern reaches to heel, they then turned northward, setting their sights on Shuk Tural. You'll recall that massive bridge they built beyond the Sky Gate. Sometime after launching their northern campaign, however, they just gave up. Huh. They abandoned their lands they'd conquered and withdrew into the mountains of Urkopacha. I've never seen any of their kind so much as set foot in the city. Are they on friendly terms now, or are they still hostile, just insular? This was a people with the power and resourcefulness to raise a temple on a mountaintop and build a bridge across the sea with stone. What would move them to renounce their ambitions and their place in Turali history? And blank pillar. Oh, this one is unmarked. Papa says he left a blank pillar for the next chapter of Tuliyollal's history, whatever that might be. Glad to hear it. You know, I feel awfully hungry all of a sudden. No surprises, they were seeing I couldn't keep anything down for a while, but now I think I'm ready to eat again. So let's go have ourselves a bite of local delicacy. Come, I'll take you to the best restaurant in the city. I like the sound of that. Before I head to the best restaurant in the city, let's get this Ethernet shard, and then I will... Cute bunny rabbit girl over there. Bless you. And then I will get the shard up top as well. What a lovely establishment. I'm reminded of the Bismarck in Limsa. This is quite a pretty place. Have you ever had tacos? They're a Tuliyollal classic. You bake a crunchy shell made from corn flour and fill it with meat and salad. A lot of shops and stalls sell them, but I like how they're made here at Shabalyov TA. Shabalyov TA is best. I'm mispronouncing all the things. I'll wait until they give me an actual pronunciation. And I need one right in front of me right now. Let's head downstairs and place an order with old Brooke Evu. I don't know if the apostrophe is supposed to be like a, what's it called? The Brooke, like Brooke or Brooke. Could be either way.
Brooke Evo!
It's pronounced directly. Brooke Evu.
My companions must sample your heavenly tacos. One for each of us, please.
Right away, promise. And I'll pack them tight with my choicest feelings. Only the best for you and your friends.
You like soft tacos or hard tacos better? I tend to like soft tacos better. They fall apart less easily.
Did you hear the silver scales
when you
are
bite.
back? Seems their overseas foray ended in disaster. More than half their warband is missing, including their leader.
Silver scales.
Aye. And now keen to rebuild their broken reputations, the survivors seek the Golden City. A fool's errand. How many hopefuls have disappeared in search of that fable? They should count their lucky stars they came home alive at all.
The legend of the Golden City is well known here, I take it.
Seems that way.
It is, but as no one's ever seen it, many question if there is any truth to the tale. Like our skeptical Erinville.
I can't imagine the Dawn Servant would request a formal survey for a place that doesn't exist.
I mean, people with absolute power do ridiculous stuff all the time, and I don't know how absolute the Dawn Servant's power is, but it seems, I mean,
Now,
monarchical.
Find a spot with a pleasant view to enjoy our crunchy spoils. Oh.
Is this one where we meeting the first brother?
Oh.
If it isn't the third promise.
Oh. No.
I don't know these ones. New salt.
I like how the eyes of the other one are like, who has those? What type of lizard has those eyes? I don't know, but I like how it's like different types of lizards on each side.
Dredge from foreign waters is my guess, brother.
Of course, that's it. Wuk Lamat is so afraid of the coming contest that she went crying for special help.
It could be seen that way.
Was there something you wanted, Bakul Jaja?
So this is not the person that runs the guard, the Lance Guard.
The third promise remembers us. Such an honor.
And maybe not even a sibling. This might just be some outside party that's outside antagonistic party.
Glory on your name, brother.
Bakul Jaja the Mystic. Yeah, because they're not treating her like a sibling rival. This is definitely not a sibling.
And on yours, brother.
Bakul Jaja the Mighty, Bakul Jaja the Mystic.
I know my rivals for the throne. Nothing more.
Another child of the Dawn
Oh,
Servant?
I guess this is a sibling.
No, this brute.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
We have no ties to their farce of a family.
Yeah. Also, it just hit me how different the fashion has to be for like wide two-headed creatures. And yeah, that chest strap looks wide as hell.
Unlike the sneevling house cat, we are blessed siblings, the elevated chosen. We alone are fit to succeed Golul Jaja as Dawn's servant.
So so it's not just a hereditary thing. You don't have to be either adopted or I don't know what the other term is, biological maybe. You don't have to be some child of the Dawn servant to be a contestant. So this is a contestant, but not a promise.
All peoples are equal in Tuliyollal. Your heritage gives you no greater claim to the throne.
It keeps going back and forth then. They keep seeing stuff that could go one way or the other.
Shall we test that idea here and now? See if your strength is equal to ours.
Oh, she can wreck you. I don't know if she can, actually. She's much smaller. But
none of this has any bearing on the right of succession, correct? Best not waste your energies on pointless scuffles.
The kitten comes to the house cat's defense.
Is that voice actor familiar to me? Is he like elsewhere in the game?
Since when was our nation overrun by
the mystic one?
Mewling weaklings.
Listen to me, you.
They're like Disney bullies. I kind of love it.
A two-headed mamulja. I knew of them, but that's the first I've seen in the flesh.
Well, really? We've definitely seen them before, like in... Wasn't the king, or not the king, the final boss in the Tonberry Dungeons hard mode, weren't they a two-headed Mamulja?
Some get it into their twin heads that they're destined to follow in my father's footsteps. So they travel to distant lands to hone their battlecraft. Those are likely the ones you've heard about.
Are there other two-headed claimants?
No, just Bakul Jaja. Even in Tural, his kind are far from common. The Mamulja people largely belong to one of three clans. The Hubigo, the Bunewa, and the Dopro. Every once in a great while, a two-headed offspring is born from a union between the brown-scaled Hubigo and the blue-scaled Bunewa. The child grows to possess immense strength, both physical and magical.
I wonder if there are... How common it is. It sounds like it's not that common, so this probably isn't done, but I wonder if there are people who have... almost... not euthanasia, what's the word? Where you try to, like, the eugenicist. I wonder if there's almost like eugenicist beliefs among some of them. Parents who try to match their kids one way to form like the best possible outcome, something like that. I wonder. But it sounds like it's rare enough that it's probably not.
Indeed.
Forget them. Let's go and buy more tacos. I can think of nothing better to rid me of this bad taste in my mouth.
Enjoying your tour of the city, I trust. We've seen our share of notable sights and took a moment to rest. As such, we're ready to present ourselves at the palace for the rite of succession. Shall we meet you there?
The palace it is. I'll let Wuk Lamat know. Destiny calls. Perhaps we can return for more tacos later?
So it goes.
That was the true sin of that antagonist. He deprived her of tacos. I was looking forward to trying some authentic Tuliyollal cuisine, but we should hurry and join Alphino and the others at the palace. All right, it's a bit of a climb to the top, but you can head up from the Resplendent Quarter or even the eastern side of Talonmarch if you prefer. Now that you have an idea of how the city is laid out, I'll let you find your own way to Volokshunsa. My poor empty belly. That's rough. Yes, we're venturing into the temple, into the palace proper here. Up the stairs. Quite grand in scope. I'm hoping this won't start the next quest. Good, we're all here then. Still hungry enough to eat a whole roasted colibri, but this contest won't wait for us forever. Excellent. This is a good stopping point then. Let me see what new garb I have just gotten. Mountain Chromite chest gear coffer. Snow cotton coat of casting. Yeah, so this is definitely worse than what I have on now. So it's 645, but it's not, it's close, it's close. How does it look? It does not look as good to me. It's nice, but it's less colorful than the base Pictomancer gear, so I'll stick with what I have. And that's going to be it for me for now. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, I much appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like on the video. It helps the channel to be seen by more and just feels good to see. And subscribe if you want to see more videos as this comes out. See you next time. Bye-bye.